Hello, chat. How's it going? I'm here, as always, Kilgoon, your host on Mondays now, with a new face that maybe you don't know. This is Rockey, a.k.a. Josh.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
You are the senior programmer.
I'm a senior gameplay programmer. I'm something these days.
Yeah.
I do a lot of everything.
Yeah, and you've been on the Smite 2 project kind of since the very beginning, right? Like you were like the first.
I was on it before it was even Smite 2.
Yeah, when we were like brainstorming what the next like project in the Smite universe was going to be. We had some cool prototypes.
We did.
I would like to go back to someday.
Dude, I was on it before even that. I was on when it was UE4.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Smite Arena. Yeah, that was a fun time.
And you were on Smite 1 back in the day, doing a lot of stuff. What some of the stuff that you did on Smite 1? Sorry, I'm talking here.
Yeah, I worked on a couple of gods. The one you guys will probably know the most is Jormungandr.
Yeah.
He was the very first god I worked on, and he full sickle type deal.
Yeah. He is World Serpent kind of eating his
He is.
No, so that's one of the reasons why we thought it would be fun to have you on today. And thank you for volunteering to come on the show.
Hello.
Is because we're working on Jormungandr again right now, and you're working on him again. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of just talk through like how do you even make a god like Jormungandr in UE5 in Smite? Like what all goes into it? How long have you been working on it? Like talk us through the whole thing from your experience.
Yeah, so when we were thinking of like what god to do next for Smite 2 for a while now, and like one of the ones I had always been pitching in my head when I first started Smite 2 was like Mulan, Jormungandr.
Okay.
Like those are the two characters I had in the back of my mind when I was making the systems of Smite 2. And you'll see like hints of Jorm throughout Smite 2's code base and stuff of like when you see Aladdin's wall running, that spline tech is all there for Jormungandr. Like Ares chains with like his little tethers that he does. All that is like bits and pieces that we have been slowly building up for Jormungandr. So like Jormungandr is one of those gods that we started with his ult because that's like the big showpiece, the WoW stopper, and like we have been just building tech base up for him. So like his ult is basically a giant shooting ability where he'll do multiple shots of it, and we're just creating a spline that we programmatically determine the arc, the like angles, the radiuses of it. And then what's actually happening is his head is a skeletal mesh.
So his head is just like a model by itself.
A full model, rigged, animated. And then everything after that, his whole thing, all little individual spline segment meshes that I'm just deforming along this spline and slowly moving over.
It's kind of like little elbow macaroni on a string.
Exactly.
It's kind of the way to envision it.
Yep.
A spline's just like a line with a curve in it, kind of, right? Is that the easiest way to describe it?
Yeah, it's the easiest way. It's like just imagine you took a piece of paper and you just drew a squiggle on it. That's a spline.
Okay. Any squiggly kind of line. Okay.
Yeah, like you'll see them in Kali's targeter for her AO2, whichever one the boomerang is.
Yeah.
And then recently you'll have seen it on Giannis with his sinusoidal ones.
Yeah.
All those are just using splines, and it's just projectiles following the spline. It's meshes placed along a spline, and then Jormungandr is the full shebang of like an animated spline that is dynamically generated. He moves the meshes along the spline, and that was the big workload for him this time around, was like actually moving the meshes along the spline and then getting his head slapped in there somewhere.
Yeah, because we knew how to handle splines where we didn't when we started him in Smite 1, but the specific tech for him was the how do we move these models along it and create this tail kind of dynamically, because it's a completely different like set of models he uses in his ult versus when he's hopping around like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the thing you see in his ult is not his base model at all. In fact, his base model is just a tiny, like, hidden thing that we just keep below the ground, and we're like, stay there.
Yeah.
While we do the big cinematic pieces.
That's cool. I know I remember that, like, he had some other weirdness about him just by being such a big god who is in the way a lot.
He is the tallest god of Smite, I think, ever.
Okay.
And with that comes a lot of goofy weirdness. Like recently we had an issue where he couldn't place deployables.
Okay.
he was too tall. So when we were trying to validate the ground location, he kept shoving the deployables down through the ground. And he was like, this is invalid. It's in the ground. And I'm like, you're just too tall, man. You're just too tall. Stop.
Just tall people problems.
Yeah, he's just a tall boy. And so we actually had to make new tech for him, too, for his camera. Because, like, when you're that tall, you need a different camera size.
Yeah.
So he is getting a full new camera, which also lets us give other characters new cameras, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I think, will have a different action cam.
Very cool.
Version, which will allow us to fix some of the other characters that have been a little weird.
Yeah. So how exactly does that work, the new version? It's like somehow you can kind of like see through the model a little bit, right?
Yeah. So this is a new thing that we're trying out with Jormungandr. So because he's so tall, he obstructs so much of the camera. We've actually, the silhouettes you will see when you like highlight an enemy through a wall or you're seeing your allies through the walls, we actually just enable that for base Jormungandr. So when you look at his cylinder, if an ally walks in front of you, you're actually going to see the silhouette of those allies and anyone he's targeting at that moment.
Very cool.
And that, like, it helps give you a little bit of awareness. It does scare them all a little bit, but we were like, it's worth it for the players to be able to see and know what's going on. And it was always a problem in Smite 1. Mm-hmm. It's like, you could never really gauge depth perception with him because he's so tall.
Yeah, he's just a big boy.
He's just a big boy.
And, like, we kind of had to, like, refigure out a lot of like the camera positioning and the alt movement and all that from scratch, right? Because like a lot of the way we had done it in UE3 wasn't directly portable in UE5.
No, yeah. So like when you guys see his camera's going to be completely remade. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a 1-for-1 match with Smite 1, and we don't intend it to be at this point, because like part of the deal with Smite 1 code is all written in like Unreal script and various C++ systems in Unreal 3, and a lot of that tech just is not necessarily portable.
Yeah.
We just had to sometimes just go and remake it. And some of the abilities in Smite 1, we got a little wild with, you know?
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe we should have left a little bit more cliff notes for us when we came back to it. So some of the time we're just like, it's easier just to redo the timings from scratch than it is to try to go back and figure them out one for one. Because then we end up making them faster anyways. Like, it just feels better.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, designers are, like, going through and, like, watching video frame by frame to try and get the timings right. Like, it's a very it's odd because it's both, like, a technical and a feels process. Yes. But that's a lot of game design, I guess, right?
Yeah, the amount of times me, Pawn, and Clumsy have literally just been staring at an OBS screen, pressing, like, next frame, next frame, next frame, as we're trying to understand, like, the exact timing and feels issues that players are feeling.
Yeah. That's awesome. I know, like, he also has a very unique, like, auto attack. I have my cone, like this.
Yeah, he has a breath pulsing auto. So it's best way to describe it is like the fire flower from Smash, where you just hold that thing and it's just pulsing out and it'll slowly slow down, and then he'll recharge it and refill it up. And one of the big things we had to do this time around is we had to port a piece of tech that we add later in the game to Smite 1. Because originally when Jormungandr released, he couldn't proc auto attacks off of any items because it was just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was just like, this is just going to be broken. Let's just not do that.
We're just like, not. And then one of our former people, Alex, he had an idea of like, let's make a system where we could keep track of, it was Jorm's auto that did it, let's reduce stuff. And so we kind of just remade that system in Smite 2. A little bit of modifications to it, but basically it allows Jormungandr to say, hey, if I'm hitting with these auto attacks and I'm proccing a damage or a heal, Clumsy can then define how much he wants to reduce it by %wise.
So we can have like Broggy's harp and Kin's size and or Kin's dagger and Odie bow all on Jormungandr and play Hunter Jormungandr now.
Oh yeah, no, he's a fun dude to play. Like, I've been playing him with Sunbeam bow and Odie bow, and it's not really viable, but it's absolutely hilarious to see this little machine gunning snake coming at you.
Yeah. Does he also crit? I have not.
He does crit.
Okay.
He does crit. He is a magical character, and we let them crit now, so like he's able to crit.
Yeah.
Whether or not we'll have to reduce that at some point, who knows?
But I think it's an interesting new way that people can choose to play Jorm that we've enabled by doing the work to make this tech to tune things specifically for characters that could maybe abuse items in that way.
Yeah, like it's been very cool to see him come together because it really was a full circle thing of when we originally did Yorm, it was probably the entire gameplay team on him for like, and we had to like sprint with him because we were doing King Arthur and Merlin right before that, and then this bad boy comes out and he's like, "I want to be tall, guys. I want to be tall, and I want
just a big boy.
I want to ult." And we had one dedicated programmer, Ryan, who did the original ult for Jormungandr, while I did the other 3 along with the other programmers. And it took him like so long to get that ult feeling right, and it was amazing to see how fast it just came in with UE5. Like really, like. Something that took us probably like a month and a half to like actually get set up and like testable, we were able to do in like a week.
That's awesome.
Which is absolutely wild to see them come together that fast.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know if chat appreciates it as much because like they don't see behind the scenes, you know, but like from somebody that was working here in the Smite 1 days when it was like, we had a whole team of people working nonstop for 2 months to get a god together just on the tech side, not even like tuning it, you know, just like making the god function. Yeah. Versus now it's like in a couple of weeks, you can get something really polished almost by yourself. You know, like one person can be on a god and make it really good. It's just incredible. Like it's if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be able to even ship a god every 2 weeks.
No, I keep saying to the team, like, the fact that we were able to ship a god every 2 weeks is mind blowing to me. Because like even when we were getting the original Smite 2 systems up, I didn't think it would be necessarily fully possible all the time. But it really is a testament to like the systems that we've made that they crank through gods. Yeah,
I think it's also a testament to the team, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, I think that we've got really great people that are you know, such as yourself, doing great work, and like we've come up with a good process to be able to do it, right?
Yes.
So, just another random, like Yorm ability thing for me, the submerging, and then like popping out, and if you pop out in a certain place, you get more pools. Is that like difficult or at all, or is that one of those like that's just easy? Like
it's just easy.
Okay,
it's a very fun ability. I call it the Mickey Mousey is, where you just go down and you try to line the Mickey Mouse and you like pop them up. But no, it really is just that simple of like, hey, is he staying in a poison cloud? Cool. Here's the 2 positions and fire it. And like Yorm, because his poison clouds are shared throughout his kit, he has basically a backpack ability on him.
Okay.
And we are basically just sending gameplay events to that ability to say, hey, spawn a poison cloud here, spawn one here, spawn one here. So like when you see his ult and his AO4 and his AO2 all use them, they all just go to that backpack ability and they just say, hey, place one here.
Very cool. Any other fun Yorm facts?
Fun Yorm facts. I mean, he's done some weird stuff. He likes to T-pose a lot.
Does he? Says he doesn't have arms.
He just goes linear.
Okay. He's just a long boy.
Long line.
Okay.
He probably has the best clap emote of any character we've ever done.
I agree with that.
And when you guys, if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but it's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Was there any like particularly amusing, other than the eye pose, any amusing bugs that came up that like you had to work through as part of getting him into the game?
Oh yeah, when I originally did his ultimate, his head, I made a spline mesh.
Okay.
Because I didn't have the support yet for a skeletal mesh. And let me tell you, when his head is the size of a pancake and it's coming at you and you just turn to the side and you see a pancake flying by you, it's like absolutely hilarious.
That's pretty good. Maybe he needs a pancake skin. Chat's been saying that he needs a roller coaster skin.
Dude, he is the meme. I keep telling Clumsy, he's our memeiest boy in Smite. Like he has the goose skin, he's got the cat. I'm saying
he's got the sandwich.
He's got the sandwich. We can make a roller coaster skin out of him.
I would be down. Maybe see if we said we could make a Smite cart skin out of him where the head is the cart and the body is the track, then Clumsy would be like, this is a great idea. We should do this tomorrow.
Exactly.
But yeah, see, now he's like, oh yeah, cart skin. Yeah, okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, anyway, any other like fun god implementation stories from the time of Smite? Anything that just like you've been dying to tell somebody about?
I mean, we've had some fun ones. Like, I remember there was a case with Atlas, one of our gods, that he could pick up towers and carry them around and shoot people with them.
That's amazing.
He was originally supposed to pick up gods, but, the towers were like, I'm down for this.
I'm kind of a god.
Yeah, take me away.
I like that. That's a good +1. Maybe we'll consider that for if we ever get around to Atlas here.
Yeah.
Chat wants us to bring it back. Yeah. That's good. Awesome. And then I guess we just did Giannis.
Yes.
Giannis and Jorm, both kind of challenging gods for programming back to back, right?
Yes, very challenging. And that's something we have to balance constantly with the schedule is how do we pick which gods we pick? And Giannis was one that, dude, they always surprise me. I look at these gods and I'm like, they can't be that hard. And then we stop them and then it's like unpeeling an onion where they're like, I have this unique feature. I have this unique feature.
Yeah.
And it becomes a rabbit hole real quick, real fast. But yeah, Giannis, props to Nick. He helped carry that one to the line. But yeah, Giannis was a real stickler.
Just from a programming perspective, I mean, we told chat before that different things are hard for different teams.
Yes.
But is there a god that you are least looking forward to from a programming perspective?
I mean, there are 3 that I have said are the unspeakable evils / unmentionables. And surprisingly enough to chat, it might be King Arthur is probably the biggest one that I fear of doing. Because he is the one that we haven't done specifically yet because we want to get our movement system right before we do him.
Yeah.
We know how much players love that god. We know how much they like him. And we really want to make sure we do him justice before we release. And he stresses the movement system to 11 with his auto attacks. Because everything he does is a dash or a movement. His autos require a whole bunch of special camera logic and dashing logic to do. And then there's some of the others, some of the other characters I've worked on for Smite is I've worked on Oleron. I did Jormungandr, Oleron, Mulan, Donzabero, all back to back.
Yep.
Oleron will be a scary boy when we eventually have to do him. That was a combination effort by me and Nick back in the day. And
getting the time dilation to work properly.
Yeah, it touches so much. I think we'll have better control of it this time around because UE3 not exactly the most helpful when it comes to collision detection and doing that stuff, but there are pros and cons to how we did stuff in Smite 1 versus Smite 2. Smite 1, a lot of stuff more C++ driven, makes it a lot easier to make wide sweeping changes.
Yeah.
Blueprints, the designers get to have their hands and stuff. They get to change things and move things around. And it makes for things to be a little bit less consistent, which is something you have to balance. And with Oleron and his time dilation, that will be a big hurdle. And then finally, the last one is Cleona.
Yeah.
She goes in walls. I don't want her in a wall. Get out of the wall.
That's not where gods belong.
You don't belong in there. Just get out.
Very cool.
Yeah, so those will be the big 3. But we have a lot of gods that we can still pull from the pile that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of fun gods coming up. I'm excited. I'm gonna ask one more just kind of general question, and then we can start taking questions from chat. And if you chat, if you have any technical questions about the game, Rockey is probably the person most equipped to answer them that we're gonna get on the show anytime soon. And he really gets a lot of this stuff. But I think just maybe an interesting question is that I like to ask a lot of people is how did you end up in the industry doing this, right? I mean, there's a lot of people I think when they think they want to be a game developer, they're I want to be a programmer on a video game, right? That's kind of a common aspiration for people. And just maybe talk through a little bit how you ended up doing it.
Yeah, I mean, so for me it was kind of a multi-stage path. I started in high school doing robotics.
Very cool.
And it was I think I started with Lego Mindstorms, and then there's some other program that Lego does, but with more metal and stuff. I forget what it's called exactly these days. But I started there and doing robotics and programming a little robot to do things. And I always liked having physical control and seeing I do this and it does that type deal. And so I had always been a gamer too. I had played Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted, and stuff like that throughout the years. And that was always what I was like, I would love to do games. I just didn't know how. And then I watched like an Uncharted like behind the scenes of them with a cruise ship level and how they rocked it. And I was like, then it kind of clicked for me. I was like, oh, I could do this. I could be a gameplay programmer. And so then I went to college for it. Met some great people while I was there that kind of like helped show me the ropes and stuff and got me into some programs. And then it was just kind of like, best way I can say is if you want to be a gameplay programmer, the main things you need to know is like, you got to know C++ or C#, and you got to know the fundamentals of it really well. And then just also make stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy these days, more than it was back then, to just open up Unreal, download it.
Yeah,
open
it's
up
free.
Unity, download it. Open up Godot, whatever engine you want to do.
Godot, the new hotness.
Yeah. Hell, go find Little Big Planet 3.
Yeah.
Go download that. I mean, that's
make
where
a Roblox mod. You know?
that's where I got my start. Like I was playing Little Big Planet levels and making like my own little like creations. Awesome. And then after that, I started working at I interned at a mobile game app company, Funkatron, where I worked on like Cascade and stuff. And then I ended up here. I've been here since, working on various things: Smite 1, DKO, Smite 2.
I think the best, like, a lot of interesting stuff in there. But I think like a really good point is like, if you are watching this and you want to make video games, just start making video games. The first few video games you make are not going to be good, but you got to just like make some bad stuff and like experiment and have fun and like see the joy of like, I do things and things happen, right? It's like. I think it was like this is slightly different, but like Stephen King, I think it was, has like a thing that like writers write. And if you're like, oh, I'm a writer, but you don't like actually sit down and write, then you're never going to actually be a writer, you know?
Yes.
And it's very similar. It's like, if you want to be a gameplay programmer, or if you want to be a 3D modeler, or if you want to be involved in video games at all, like just start doing it, right? And over time, you're going to get to be good at it, or you're going to realize I don't actually like doing this, and you will move on with your life. So,
yep.
Very cool. And people are also talking about DKO.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You did a little bit on DKO there.
I did do a little bit on DKO. That team was honestly, they were incredible. They had mad props to the Redbeard team at the time. They had done some really cool stuff, and like I was just basically brought on, and I helped them like smooth out the edges. Basically, is what I like to say. It's like helped speed up their pipeline a bit and stuff. So like you'll see that in like some of the characters. I think like Ymir and Zeus were on the new system and whatnot. But DKO, honestly, I had a blast with DKO. It was a fun time. It was a cool like adventure. And it's nice to take a break from like the stuff you've been working on for years and like and dabble. And I think that's where like Smite Adventures came about. And we've always had stuff going in the background of like dabbling here and there and stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Cool. Well, we'll take some questions from chat. And we on just kind of quick order of operations on Wednesday, we'll be showing off Jormungandr as well as some other stuff that's in the update, and just kind of a little bit of preview. I think we'll go through full balance probably on Friday. I think there's some spicy stuff in there, and then we'll have the patch coming out next Tuesday, so y'all will be able to play Jormungandr on live servers on Tuesday. And on Wednesday we'll have a flash test usually right after this. So if you want to play him, on Wednesday, you'll get a chance to do that. People are asking if you're Canadian because you're wearing a shirt that says Canada.
Nope. My parents happened to go to Switzerland, so they got me a Switzerland set, and I had a Canadian hat when I went to Quebec. I didn't know I was going to be on this today, so,
Yeah, he just volunteered to come on last minute, and I appreciate it. So time dilation is such a unique CC. How do you have to work on other kits to add that? Or is it just like, it's more of like a system that it's just kind of...
It's a system-wide thing. So when we did Oloron, we basically created a system with our gameplay effects where we could apply time dilation values to a character, and then from that character we would propagate it out to like their projectiles, their deployables, their gameplay effects. And it's a very involved system because there's a lot of things in Smite that have to synchronize together that aren't necessarily connected with each other.
Okay.
So like Neja was a key one of like you stun shast him, and like that stun gameplay effect can't wear off before he dashes to you, or he's just gonna walk away and stuff like that. Or Thor is in the air and he's shooting down a warning deployable to let you know where he's gonna spawn. you want those things to be linked. So like a lot of the time dilation work came to making sure that those were linked together. And I remember when we originally did Oloron's time dilation, we had a spreadsheet of every single god in the game and every single ability they had. And props to the QA team at the time. Like, it was Caps and a couple others there. And we went through every single god multiple times. And whenever I had to change it, I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I need you to do it again. And they would get into an arena with me, and they would help me out there. But actually, I think what people don't know about Oloron when it came to his time dilation, it came down to the nth hour with that character. Like, I think it was me and Nick working on it, and it came down to like 3 different changes that we made at the last minute at like 2 a.m. that we found that like fixed 90% of the problems.
That's awesome.
And we were like, oh, never again.
There have been quite a few times in our history where we solve it at the very last minute, I will say. Yep. Even just the recent like UE 5.5 upgrade was a little touch and go there at the last few days, but we managed to make a couple good changes there.
Yep.
This probably predates your time on Smite, but Chronos Alt, as someone that knows next to nothing about programming, it seems difficult. Is that kind of like rewind time thing?
It's not too difficult now. I wasn't there when Chronos was made, but basically how it works is we just keep track of every time you get damaged and how much you were damaged for, and we store them as like timestamps. And we also store where you were positional wise. And basically, once we determine that you are ready to wind back in time, we put you into a ball form so we don't have to see what you're doing. And then we just like slowly give you the health back that you need to have back, and we just move you back. So like, I actually don't think Chronos would be too hard to do in Smite 2. I think it's just going to be the spline tech that you've been seeing us use now and again, and we'll probably use it for him as well, of just tell him, go back along the spline, follow your path, and give yourself health.
Very cool. Are those banana skins or flowers on Kilgoon's shirt? These are banana skins, banana peels today. Did you work on Lancelot?
I did not. That was after my time.
Okay.
I know one of our programmers, Nate, I think, worked on Lancelot at the time.
This is maybe an interesting one. Kill cams, are they hard to implement? Because I remember...
You're talking like Paladin style?
Yeah, because I remember on Paladins, they were awful.
If you want to talk about a bane of all existence, Spectator is a bane of all existence. Yeah, it's very hard to do. You basically have to be storing the state of the game at every single point. And then have the technology to rewind that state and like replay it over again. And that, it's very hard to do that at real time. I've never had to do a kill cam before.
Yeah.
But I know from the hearing what the Paladins guys went through, it was like, there's a reason we removed them.
I remember that a lot of the issues that we ran into on Paladins was like, you can't actually just play like the 10-second like bit of the kill cam, because some sounds and effects would need to have started before that started, and then would need to turn off. But if they don't turn off when the kill cam ends, then you just have like a sound effect that's already always playing in the background for the rest of the game. So it was just like, which sounds like it would be easy, but it's hard to just replay this specific part of a thing and not do the whole thing start to finish for every single ability, being able to pick it up just like in the middle.
Yeah, it really requires like a lot of like pre-planning before you go into the project, and then it requires a lot of like dedicated knowledge to know after the fact too. Like, you can have a great kill cam when you first launch the game, but like, if the people who don't know after that, because like, I think something people don't realize too is like, programmers change projects all the time. We go where we're needed sometimes, and like, I think Paladins went through so many different variations of programming that like, eventually sometimes that knowledge is just lost. And you're like, I don't know how to do this.
I heard a rumor, and this is from a good source, that in the early days of Overwatch, they were actually faking their kill cams by having a second server running like on a delay for every match, and they would like play it off of that server, because getting the tech to actually like start at a specific time was just like too much trouble at the very beginning of Overwatch. And that's just something I've heard from people that I trust in the industry. I don't know if it actually was the situation.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, very hard to get to work.
Yeah, I could believe that because, I mean, that sounds very similar to what we refer to as demo recording.
Yeah.
Like when you saw the SPL matches back in the day, most of them use demo recording where basically everything you're doing is writing out to this like log file, like this demo file. And then we use based on real systems to just basically replay the entire game from that demo file. Kill cams are different because they have to do it mid-game as the game is going on, which adds a whole level of chaos. But demo files are typically the main way we've done spectating and replay. But even Smite 1 had issues with demo recording. Like, I think towards the last couple years of the SPL, we actually switched over to live spectating, where we just threw a spectator into the game as an actual player with the characters so they could see everything in real time. Just because demo spectating would get so funky sometimes and just randomly crash.
There are people, a couple people that are asking about Scotty.
My favorite.
The thing that they're asking about is Calder. Is Calder the part of Scotty that you find the most concerning?
There's some debates amongst the programming team as to where Calder falls in the hierarchy of pain.
The hierarchy of pain.
Yeah.
We need like a
we have a hierarchy internally of like how much pain are we willing to accept. Calder he's a beast, and he's one of our funnest AIs I think that we've ever done. But he has a lot of stuff going on that I think players don't necessarily realize of like he's trying to make sure he's always to the left or right of Scotty. He's not trying to get in the way. He has to respond to commands. And AI work is a very, very hard thing to do. Usually it requires a lot of just dedicated programs who only do AI.
Yeah.
And so with Calder, we have a plan to Calder.
Okay.
We call it a 5-step Calder plan. Not really, I call it that. The main one first that we're trying to get in is probably going to be Chang'a's bunny.
Okay.
Start simple bunny, just has to stay around you. No one can see the bunny anyways. It does bunny things.
Yeah.
Get stuck in a wall, who cares? It's a bunny. And then eventually...
But it lets you sort out the issues with the core tech.
Yeah, first. Like we call it the courier system of long-term familiars who stay around the character. So like we want to make sure... Because when you are in Smite 1, if you die, you'll notice the bunny teleports to you. Like if Calder gets too far away or he falls under the world like he used to do, he'll just teleport back to Scotty. And we have a lot of that. A lot of our work is getting that tech up and running. So it'll be Chang'e, then Ilong Shen's dog that people don't really know does stuff, but I found out recently does actually attack.
It does.
I was like, that seems a lot.
It's like an entirely visual extra damage boost kind of thing.
But he attacks. And then it'll be Calder, and then finally it might be Calder or maybe it's August.
Okay.
Because August, only have to keep him out for a short amount of time. And then we get Calder out there and he's doing stuff, interacting with Scotty. And then we have Baba Yaga's hut, who we'll just never do.
That one is surprisingly challenging. People don't think about it.
That was the worst pet I've ever had to do in Smite 1. And like I remember working with Ryan on that back in the day, and like, that hut caused us so many issues.
Yeah, because it's big. It has really weird pathing rules. Like, it gets scared if you get close to it. It's got to transform into you, kind of.
It's got to jump onto Baba so that it can be the house and shoot like animations out of its windows to like throw potion balls at you, and like that whole sequence of getting it to go up into the air, land on Baba, be on Baba, have it respond to the animations and all sync up. That was such a pain.
Yeah, I could see that. So Baba.
Yeah, Baba's hut. Let it lie.
Yeah. So there's a question. This is maybe a good chance to like explain like kind of differences in some of the things people handle. Are horse animations all the same or similar to programs? So like Hachi, Quan, Lancelot. So that's not like really something that a programmer would handle, right? That's more of like an animator plus, I guess, tech art to hook it up and rigging to make the skeleton.
Yeah,
right?
So like we've gone through various different horses over the years. Like we had Guan Yu to start off with, then you had Hachiman, and then finally Lancelot. I think there might have been another horse somewhere in there, but who knows? Kaiwan, I think, might have been a horse.
We really wanted to do like a 4 horseman skin line. So we were trying to get to 4 horses, and then we never did the 4 horseman skin line.
The problem with horses really is more on an animation rigging side of things because they have so many limbs that have to be synced. It's just more time and expenses to do them. But over the years, I think with Guan Yu specifically, we've actually moved Guan Yu's horse to be Lancelot's horse.
Yeah.
So it's using the rig of Lancelot's horse.
Okay.
So part of that is like just over the years, the rigging team gets better and better, and they're like, we can do this better, guys.
Yeah.
And so we take the next best thing, and I'm sure when we release Lancelot, we'll have a Lancelot horse V2, and he'll be different. But
that's the way it always goes.
It mostly has just come from a rigging side of things that gets expensive.
Very cool. What was this from Sot? What was the single hardest thing to program in Smite?
I feel like it changes on a given month. You know,
what's the challenge that's like most pressing in your mind? I guess it's like usually when people answer that question, it's like this is the thing I'm most annoyed with right now. But it's like, what's the actual like overall hardest? Hard to say.
I think for Smite 1, the overall hardest one we ever had to do was, I think, time dilation. Like, that one was like a whole team effort. 2 of our programmers were occupied with Horse and Set for their double release, which we did a lot of bad things to ourselves back in the day. I don't know why we ever did that.
Yeah, that was not a great idea.
But I think Oloan his time dilation was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to program back in the day. But I think on Smite 2, a lot of it has just been like core systems that you will never see as a player.
Yeah.
Like some of the toughest things like is with our movement system having to get dashes and trees to sync up correctly and be able to replay moves and stuff like that. And like a lot of I think what people don't realize is no one on our team knew UE5 besides me and like a handful of others from DKO.
Yeah.
That had came over. Like, it really was, like, we had known a lot about UE3, but UE5 was a whole new thing, and we had been working on Smite when Smite had been it was, like, settled at that point.
Yeah.
So a lot of these core systems that we were revisiting were just relaying how to make from scratch, and I think that was the biggest challenge that I learned when I initially started this whole process was how many of these intricate feels that players pick up on, and then I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm fine to just go run at something and just like shoot my little Jormungandr like sunbeam bow projectiles at people.
Just notorious split pushing in our Conquest playtests, you know.
But then I'll have people who are like, this Loki in hand doesn't feel, it's like 0.2 milliseconds off. And I'm like, dang, how do you feel that? But yeah, I think getting those like little intricacies built into the systems of like attacking and handling like timing areas and stuff like that, those are really where 95% of the work goes into.
I know that like mostly Jordan's been working on a lot of like the optimization stuff, but anything you can share on like optimization, some of the known issues, things we've been working on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of our optimization stuff comes around, really it's just trial and error with it. We know, like, for example, minions. Love those little guys, bane of our existence. They cost a lot, and we have to find ways of just trimming them down. So, like, their movement is probably, like, I think, I was talking with one of our other engine programmers at the time, is like movement in Unreal 4 and 5 is like 6 times more expensive than it was in UE3. And they did a lot of optimizations on UE3s to make it more streamlined. So like with minions, we had to do a lot of work at the start of Smite 2 of being like, you guys need to stop. Like we'll like take the physics buys off of these things, unhook all these like components that they don't need, and like really like try to get them down as cheap as possible. Like what people don't realize under the hood is like we do a lot of work to recycle a lot of the stuff that minions use. Like each character is made up of like a pawn, an ability system actor that is separate, and then player controllers and AI controllers. And so the AI controller is the like brain of the operation.
Okay.
That's where it receives the messages and sends stuff out to say, hey, fire this ability, or character move here. And so the ability system actor is what actually holds all the gameplay ability and gameplay logic and does stuff. And the pawn is just the visual representation that moves around the world. Mm-hmm. And we recycle the AI controllers and the ability system actors to try to speed up that and reduce costs whenever we can. And I
think it's like you kill a minion, and we don't like fully delete it. We just hold this pointer, and then we're like, here, new minion. This is you.
Yeah. We basically recycle them as much as possible. Like Don Zabero's clones, some Wukong clones, those all just recycle under the hood. Minions don't fully recycle yet because like there's still some gripes that we have to get around with them. Because if you have one minion and someone keeps a pointer to that minion, and then they try to say, "Hey, don't hit that piston again," well, it's like, okay, well, this isn't the same minion. Yeah. So we have to be careful with that stuff. But a lot of it also too just comes down to just base UE5 like optimizations that we just have to figure out when it comes to like stuff like VFX, audio, like. I think every day we have to ask us. We have one of our VFX artists saying, "How many Niagara systems are lingering around here?" And he has to like go and check, and like we have to kill those off. Every time we introduce a new god, we have to like cut off their rigid bodies from their physics assets, and it's just a balancing act to try to figure out. Like I don't think there's no magic bullet when it comes to optimizations, as much as people might want to believe. Hell, I mean, even 5.5, if you saw that when it first released, like, clearest example of
just no magic bullet.
Just because it's an engine upgrade does not mean it's gonna solve every magic bullet thing. But Jordan and I are doing we've been doing a lot of work on that field. I think the best thing to do is just like report what you have and give us a little grace. Like we're trying. It's slow, but.
And I think it is getting better.
Yeah, I think it is. Like the game is light years away.
Oh yeah.
Like we used to be struggling to hit 30 FPS on the servers. Now we're like, okay, now we're trying to hit like 90 FPS on the client. So like, we're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah. This is maybe an interesting one. Might be before your time, but like in times when we took like an old god. And then we changed who they were and made a new one in their place. So like Ao Kuang became Kukulkan, Sun Wukong became Hunbots, and then we made a new Sun Wukong. You can just kind of like copy paste the old abilities onto a new model, or like you don't have to remake stuff because you're taking the old stuff over, right?
Yeah. So we have some stuff like there were cases. I think Hunbots. I think Hunbots was Sun Wukong, and then Sun Wukong became Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
And they were in our terminology for these gods internally was atrocious. Like it went from like monkey to like some Wukong, and then we had some that was like Kukulkan, but not Kukulkan, exactly Ao Kuang. Because Ao Kuang changed from Kukulkan to Ao Kuang, but we never renamed the abilities. We had some that were just numbers.
Yeah.
Because we were like, let's do code names, guys.
Oh yeah.
Let's be tricky.
Back when we were trying to be really good with our marketing around stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And then so they would just get left, and I remember we had like an internal I had a sticky note where I just wrote down each of their code names and what they corresponded to.
God 95, yes, Kellen. Yes.
Yeah. Some are banned into my brain. But yeah, when it came to like actually just swapping the abilities around, it's not too big of a deal. You just slap a different model, a different pawn on it, call it a day.
Okay. Two gods we haven't talked about yet that Kalaman's been asking a lot about are how difficult would it be to bring over Hachiman or Ao Kuang? Are they anything challenging about those gods?
Hachiman, Hachiman I know has been talked about internally of like, because we try to pick the ones that we can do well and do within like a 3-4 week timeline. Hachiman I actually don't think would be too bad. Like the main portion is the horse, and we kind of had that with Guan Yu.
More for the art team than for the programming team, a little bit of a challenge.
And that's where the balance really comes into play. It's like Jormungandr, part of the reason we did him was he's actually easier for the VFX team, so it helps alleviate some of the burden there. So we really try to choose, like we'll do some modern characters just because they're more up to date and it's less animation or modeling work that we have to do for those. Ao Kuang is an interesting one. I don't think there's anything like too special.
He has that weird execute, transform into a dragon, dive back down thing. Like I don't know if that's hard programming wise or if that's.
It's usually the way I've been telling Alex about this is like, it's involved, not necessarily hard.
Yeah.
But it just takes time.
Yeah.
And so that's typically where we like draw the line with some gods. Is like, even if they're not necessarily hard, if it takes too much time, we typically will prioritize getting you like 2 gods instead of like 1 god.
Yeah. And Big Olson says, so we're going to hit a day when there's only hard gods left. I think that we are trying to do some harder gods as part of the process, right? Like Giannis and Jormungandr were both relatively harder gods.
They're more involved, yeah. Like we tried to like mix and match them. So like you'll see like 2 easier gods and then maybe a hard god come in. And like I will say this, don't believe anyone in the community when they say they know how difficult a god is. Because like we made the things, we have all the code, we don't know how difficult they are half the time.
Sometimes you just stumble onto something when you're working on a god and you're like, oh god, I didn't realize that worked this way.
Yeah, the amount of times that has almost been us where we're like, oh no.
Yeah.
You had this? Why did you have this? Who gave you this? Yeah.
Someone's asking about how hard hell is. From what I remember, you said hell is actually
Hell
really easy.
Super easy. Oh my god, I would love to do hell.
For the tech side.
For the tech side.
For the art side, it's 2 models, it's 2 sets of FX.
It's a full wig, full transformation swap. Like hell has a lot of stuff that the art team has to deal with that like brings it down a bit in like the agency to do her. But she's on the list, and usually when they have simple abilities like hell, they tend to go up higher.
Yeah. Smite baseball. No, I don't have any Smite baseball plans. Sorry.
If only.
If only.
Fafnir. I would love to do Fafnir.
Yeah, are you a Fafnir enjoyer?
I dabbled in Fafnir back in the day. Like there was a period where I played a little bit of Fafnir. I was a Guardian person back in the day. Fish taught me how to like play support fish, so I just roll through all the supporters. And I'm like, dude, he's a dwarf and a dragon. Who doesn't want to be a dwarf and a dragon?
Apparently, a lot of people. Apparently, it's incredibly unpopular.
That's what everyone tells me when I'm like, guys, let's do Fafnir. And they're like, the art team's like looking daggers at me. Alex is like holding a sheet with like last place in it.
I'm not saying he's the no. I think that like the problem with Fafnir again is like not on your side, right? Because it's like the abilities are actually pretty straightforward for Fafnir.
He has some weird timings and some weird hitches and stuff, and like he's a character I think we would really want to take a look at before like doing and like figure out what we want to do with him. Because like some of our characters from back in the day, like they're so unpopular that it's like,
what can we make them more popular?
Can we make them better?
Yeah. I think we did a good job of that with Kali, actually. Like, Kali was very unpopular in Smite 1, and since we brought her over to Smite 2, she, even after she's been not as overpowered as she was at first, she's still maintained a relatively decent level of popularity, whereas before it was like she was very low.
Yeah, so. I think the aspect system, like, shout out to Clumsy, because that was all his idea and, like, initial creation, but, like, it's really given us a lot of flexibility of, like, finding that balance of, we can give you the old kit that you like, but maybe here's a new one that you like better.
Yeah. There was a question about this is a callback to DKO. Was there any like in progress unreleased gods at the very end or?
Oh yeah. I mean, we had a whole winter map on a Viking ship that never, I don't think, released. Norse ship. I don't remember if Loki ever released.
I don't know. I think Samu Kong might have been the last.
Yeah, so I think Loki, we had a Waking playable Loki character, I think, that was also there.
Yeah. What was the easiest god that we brought over so far?
Oh, the easiest one.
Yeah. Loki did come out, apparently, for DKO. He was the last one.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I'm sure there's others, but I had no idea.
Yeah, you just don't remember.
I don't remember them.
They weren't far enough along, I guess, to really remember.
Yeah, by the time they released Zeus, I was like off DKO and onto Smite twosies. Yeah. The easiest god, I mean, from a tech standpoint, probably Anubis. Like,
really?
He's just cones and line attacks, but he also came at the beginning of the forefront. So, like, he is, if I had to do him now, 2 seconds to get him out. Doing him when he started took a lot longer because of those like timing things. I think of the modern characters we released, I think it's Mulan.
Really?
She has always been my golden child of like like for the most part she came out and she was like pretty clean back in the day with Smite 1.
I thought you were gonna say Ra. I thought like.
Oh, I mean it's Ra.
Yeah.
But
Mulan's a good one. Yeah.
Mulan's more of an achievement. Ra's like, you're a line attack, man. I don't know what you want from me.
Somebody's mentioning Heimdall. I never know how to pronounce that properly.
Himdallr, I think.
Yeah.
Is what
Himdallr.
Yeah, that's how he would face himself.
Okay. I remember you saying the other day that like he wouldn't be as hard as we initially it was in Smite 1 because it's kind of similar tech to what we use for Aladdin, right?
Yeah. So Aladdin uses a sub-level inside of the Conquest map. So every Conquest game you play, that level is always there. It's just not loaded into memory. Like, you don't see it. But we bring it up and running when Aladdin comes into play. Heimdall would be a very similar thing. We couldn't do this before as easily in Smite 1 because, like, we didn't have, like, a real editor that we could, like, have the environment team place models around. They had to do it all inside, like, I don't even remember how they did it. I think it was, like, a skeletal mesh actor or something that we placed, like, a bunch of VFX. But now, like, they can just go into the editor. They can make the whole environment whenever they want. And then it's just easy for us. We just load the sub-level, tween you through it, call it a day, shoot them back.
Easy.
I've
seen this question asked a couple times. The tech that you put in for auto attack procs doing less for Jorm, if design decided it was a good idea, would that be something that we could put onto various pets in Smite 2 to have a similar effect where it's like, you know, like Vulcan turret doing ability proc damage or something?
Possibly. It probably would require some modifications by me to support pets. Just due to the nature of how it, because pets have their own ability system. They're basically their own man.
Yeah.
You know, they get to go out in the world. They get to strut their stuff. They know who their parents are, but they don't know much beyond that. So I'd have to check, but it's definitely possible. Like, we brought back the tech, and design has been waiting for this tech too, apparently. They're like, let us know when we get Jorm. Because we want that tech. We don't really want Jorm, but we want that tech. So you'll probably see it eventually emerge on other characters.
I like this question. I don't know if we actually have an answer for you, but how hard would it be to give Gilgamesh an RKO move, where basically like you're running and you pull the guy down by the head? I feel like that would be an animation nightmare.
The animation team would kill me.
Yeah, because you would have to animate the other part of the grapple for every character in a way that's somewhat convincing.
Getting characters. So one of the hardest portions of that is like getting characters to sync their animations together. Yeah. But also, every character needs to have that animation now. And let me tell you, they're not all on one wig. They are all different, unique childs out there, and they do not like when we slap other wigs on them, as we found out when we made everyone Apollo that one time.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, it was hilarious. I am so impressed they undid it.
Yeah.
I really thought we were going to have to roll back the entire DD.
I think that is an interesting bit about Smite. Like, one of the like in like Fortnite, for example, I think they have like maybe a male rig and a female rig, and all the characters are on the same skeleton, right? Mm-hmm. But for us, every single character is its own unique rig skeleton that's animated separately. So we don't it's not like I can reuse like a run animation from one god on another god, even if I wanted to, because it's a different skeleton that's running. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no. They're all unique.
All unique little children.
Yeah.
How hard is it? No, I'm not going to read that one. Let's see. I feel like the questions are...
The camera change will work when the Morgan transforms into Jormungandr.
Okay.
He will inherit that camera.
Is there any chance of a camera editor with settings similar to Rocket League? I don't know how Rocket League does it.
I don't know either on that one.
And there are some like competitive things where we don't want to just like let people do anything with the camera.
Yeah, so. we're pretty not protective of the camera, but we have to be careful with how much we reveal. Like, that was one of the things with the Jormungandr is he was so tall he could look over bushes and walls and stuff. So we had to be careful back in the day of like, how high do we actually let his camera go up, and how much can he zoom out and zoom in?
I like this idea for a wrestler skin for Aladdin, where his lamp brings him into a cage match. What do you think?
I could dig with that.
You're on board? Okay. And maybe like, you think the genie's like wearing a luchador mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how we would do it.
I see a Persephone programming question. Persephone is another one of those gods that like, she's very involved. She has a lot going on with her kid, but I think she's also just one of those characters that like, I think we would just, similar to Fafnir, I think we would just want to revisit what we do with Persephone, because like, there are a couple of characters that just went through so many different reworks that I think we would just want to take a pause and consider.
Yeah. Is there an example of a god that players would think would be really easy, but is not, and vice versa?
Oh.
I remember some of those like community poll things.
There were some community poll ones. I forget, like, of course it's like when I'm trying to pull them out of my head, I don't remember them. But there was some that was like wildly off.
Yeah, it was like, no, that god would be very difficult or very hard.
Yes.
I can't remember which though right now.
I can't. I don't have the sheet.
All right. Uller needs a skin. Yeah, we any god that does not have a skin is on the calendar to be skinned at this point. It may not be immediate, but we are working through all the gods that don't have skins. So apologies for that.
It's hard to get all these characters skinned once you have like 50 of them and they're like,
yeah,
we all want a skin.
Well, and I think the big reason why we got so behind was we did that really big rush leading up to like January, February, where we were like, here's like 6 gods a month kind of thing. And then it was like, we weren't making any skins for 4 months or something like that. And then it was like, oh, now we got to go back and make a skin for everybody.
Yeah, because these skins do not port at all.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
You have to do quite a bit of work to bring those over.
Kukulane. I do like Kukulane.
Okay.
He's one of the warriors that I'm like, I've been poking people about, like, I think this would be a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good one.
Also, we might have warriors.
Another one that Art does not like as much, but that's usually the way it goes.
Yeah. So. Dude, one day I'll be able to convince us. Baby Vimana.
Baby Vimana. Are you more of a fan of like the old Vimana, the weird looking one, or the new Vimana?
I don't know what the difference between them.
Oh,
all I know is he's a baby. He's got a bald head. He's running around slaying people with an umbrella.
Yeah.
Tees into a bigger baby, slams it with an umbrella.
Little umbrella ring.
And let me tell you, that would be easier for me to program, and I'm all for it. It's that easy for me to program.
Yeah, Vimana's one of those ones where it's like he would be easy-ish to bring over for a lot of teams, but from a design perspective, they're just like, if we just bring him over the way he was, is that good enough? Yeah,
for him, or do we need a plus, like an aspect or a +1 for him? And that's usually where it comes down to.
Yeah. Can we bring back surveys? Not everybody wants to post feedback in public places for strangers to crap on. Yeah, that's fair. It's been a little while since we've done a survey. We'll probably do another one sometime soon here. Barely Buzz Bacchus. That's a good skin. Yeah, maybe we'll get it at some point. The Lasagna Agni people have been going crazy.
There's
recently.
A lasagna Agni skin?
There's not, but they want it.
Oh.
They want it.
Hey, we have a food line.
Yeah, like, obviously the meteors are just meatballs.
Exactly.
Does the dash just leave, like, the top of a lasagna?
I think so.
Yeah. They are quite hot. I don't know what the smoke...
Sauce, maybe?
Just a little sauce pile. And then, like, what do you do? You're igniting your sauce with fire, or...
Yeah, you're like chawing it, like,
yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't know what lasagna
is. Pasta sauce, yeah. Hubwa, Hebo.
Oh, Hebo.
Any feelings on the Riverman himself?
The Riverman has been a hot topic.
Hot topic
amongst us. Many people want the Riverman internally. Many people don't want the Riverman internally. From a programming side of things, I'll say, like, I think he'd be dummy easy for us to implement pretty quick. It's more of Hebo is just old. And like most old characters, they need a little sprucing up in life,
Yeah.
Gotta go to the salon, get their hair done. And how much hair he needs to have done, we'll have to find out when we do him.
And
eventually.
I think there's also just like the the community does not seem decided about, like, there are people who are like, if you don't bring him over with the surfboard model, I will never play him. And it's
which is surprising because I'm like, he has a surfboard?
Yeah. Some people just love that skin. They think that they can see better while they're using that skin or something. And I think that the team generally doesn't want like base Hubwa to be riding a surfboard because it's a little bit weird, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about like which one does he have to be on, which one do you want him to be on.
But then it's like if we have to do them both, then it's like that's double the work to bring him over, you know. So it's like it's again, I'm not saying that there's like a firm decision either way. It's just like it's one of the challenges that we're working through on that character in particular.
Yeah, let us know. Do you want Hebo to have a surfboard, or can he come without a surfboard?
Yeah. It is 2:00.
It is.
Do you know what that means?
One last question.
It's time for one more question.
Oh, I don't know how the bits go.
Yeah. No, you did a great job. Thank you for being on the show today. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a good time.
Anytime.
So you just got to pick one more question. You can pick one. I'll pick one, and we'll kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
But chat, definitely be sure you tune in on Wednesday to check out Jormungandr in game, along with some of the other cool new things that are coming as part of this new update. And we're just gonna, we're gonna keep rolling because we got, flash tests later the day on Wednesday. We've got balance to talk about. We've got the patch coming out next Tuesday. We've got a bunch of stuff that's in development that I don't think is actually going to make this patch, but will be in the next patch. So I got more meetings about that stuff later today. We're rolling. And, everything's going pretty well here.
I'll answer this question. What feature or tool of UE5 that you love / made your life easier compared to UE3? And I would say it's blueprints by far. Okay. Blueprints, and what we use in our UE5 implementation is the Unreal game playability system plugin. And then I've done a lot of modification work on top of that. But Blueprints has really allowed us to I can make the tools and I can expose them to the designers, and they can go and be my little like Santa's elves of like I just dispatch them and they can just like do stuff, and they'll come to me when there's a problem. But it really has like actually like I would say it's like 10x like production rate in like UE5 compared to like it took us so many more people and so much more manpower to do like any prototyping. Like Aladdin's ult was mostly done by Pawn.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Which is like something that is unheard of in Smite 1. So like
Clumsy says Josh makes me do work basically instead of us making him do work. It's pretty messed up.
It really is funny when Clumsy comes to me and I pull out like my Uno Reverse card and I say, "You have to do this. You made the bug."
Awesome. And I need to pick a question to wrap up the show today. Oh, we forgot to do the Alani check on Friday. I'm having a cherry twist Alani today and some water because I had a lot of spicy Indian food right before the show.
I have a Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
I'm a Diet Coke boy.
Very nice. I will ask this question because this guy's posted it twice here in the last few minutes. Do you play Magic the Gathering? And if so, what color do you play?
I used to play Magic the Gathering. I used to play slivers back in the day.
Oh, a sliver enjoyer.
Yeah, I enjoyed the slivers. I liked making them do modification things and building them up. I don't remember what colors I played. I think it was like...
They were like kind of all of them.
They were kind of all of them. I think I played like black-red at some point, but like I didn't really have a color. I was like, whatever sliver gets me to do more weird, messed up things to my opponents.
Very cool. All right, chat. Well, thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you on Wednesday. And with that, we are gone. Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.